If you're watching this, you're in the next video in the asset importation process of Postmix number 2. We have moved on to auto spotting. We just manually spotted some sound effects. Now we're auto spotting. And auto spotting is kind of like what we just did, but even easier. Select the last track. So whatever you import will end up below it. Wherever you select, the imported audio will end up below it. And I'm going to do Command-Shift-I, which is, import audio. And this time we're going to raid the auto spot folder. And there's only a couple files here because I just wanted to show you how this works. And you can only do one at a time due to the way it works. So only do the third, audio 3A. If you do both, it won't work perfectly. So again, copy, do not do add. And it shows up and it's going to copy it. This is all the same as before. It's going to put it in our, and this time, this is where something new happens. Tell it to put it in a location spot, and it will automatically put that audio file in the location it was timestamped. So cool. You can import audio files and have them go to the correct location, and it will tell you, hey, that's where I want to put it. And you go, yeah, no problem, man. And boom, put it in the right spot. And this is why you don't do both at once, because it will put both tracks. If we imported both those audio files at once, they both would have ended up in the same spot. It's not that smart. So we're going to do the same thing, Command-Shift-I. This time we'll get audio file 4A, hit add. Oh, did I just fail? I just failed. Hit copy. And there we go. Boom. And do you want to copy it? Yep. I do. And where do you want to put it? I want to put it on a new track, and I want you to spot it to me to the right spot. Thank you. And is that the spot you want? Oh, that's definitely the spot I want. And boom, it did it for me. Aha! That's the auto spot feature. Maybe I should save. What do you think? Save? Cool. Saving. And moving on, spotting by time code. Oh, cool. We're at the last part of this importation process, the dialogue. So this is yet another way of doing this. I'm going to use the macro this time, if that's all right. Command-Shift-I, importing audio. And this time we're going to go find ourselves the dialogue folder. And we're going to import all these dialogues all at once and select them all and copy. These have no timestamp on them. So they are not going to go to the correct location. So you might as well put them spotting. It's going to put them all at the beginning. Either way, whether you do it session start or spot, it's going to go to the beginning because, well, it's timestamped for the beginning because I've removed the timestamp from you. So the question is where the heck do these things go? And they go where you manually need to put them, which are these time code locations. So if you don't have to type this in, you can just copy those values. And this time, that was the VO, by the way, right? VO. This time when you go to spot and you click on the VO track, I got to go to the grabber tool, right? And I click on it and just paste in that value, paste, and boop, it's going to go to the right spot. So repeat that with Sam. Hi, Sam. Sam, where would you like to go? I would like to paste to 9 seconds and 3 subframes, or 9 frame, whatever that is, and hours, minutes, seconds, frames. And now let's do Uz. I actually don't know if the guy's name was Uz. I just saw that in the file name, so I thought that would be kind of a cool name for a boxer dude. Command V for pasting in Uz's time. There's Uz. And let's do Chris, copying Chris, and we should be down to Chris being the last audio file, pasting Chris's time in. Of course, sometimes you have to manually type this in. I'm making it easy for you with the copy and paste. And there you go. And I think if you watch the video, because that is the end of the importation, I have one last thing to show you, but you might want to take a moment here, watch the video, Command 9, and make sure all the rough mix is going to be bad, but does the dialogue line up? We'll just turn up all the dialogue up really loud. You might want to just take a second listening through this thing and see what you're about to mix.
His last fight took only 8 seconds. Friday, Cruz's Sam Cecilia looks to bring the hurt.
I'm gonna win. That's it.
Against Faber's Chris Saunders,
Physically really strong, and he's got powers.
Let's go to war.
the Ultimate Fighter.
So it's all lined up and everything is good. I've done the right thing. I'm going to save. Now there is one step left to this process, and that is I have purposely left huge gaps of space in the audio files, and that can be distracting on the eyes when you're working quickly in your automation and cleaning. And this is a really useful feature is the strip silence command in Pro Tools, and you should be familiar with it. I just went to the insertion tool, and I'm going to select all tracks, and I'm going to select everything. Well, actually, let's just do one track at a time. Ignore me. Let's take one that's obvious here, like this VO, and select it. And the strip silence is under Edit, Strip Silence, or Command U. And its default parameters are pretty good. I often will add a little bit of a pad to the beginning of the file and a little bit to the end. And I will sometimes lower the threshold of noise depending on what I'm working on. But anyway, once you hit strip, boop, look what it does. It clears out all the gaps. And so this can be really useful to kind of clean up files. There we go, for you. And you can kind of strip out, get rid of the blank spots in between audio files. And it just helps me when I'm mixing to not distract. And you can get really creative with this. You could, if you're really good, clean tom-tom tracks and stuff. I don't actually do it that way. But anyway, you see what I just did. Now, the last thing here is, you may want to organize these things and color code them and name them in a certain way, but that's up to you. But we have completed our goal here, which was we imported all the files and got them all ready for mixing. Okay, so you have other things to do in this assignment, a lot more to do, but at least I am done with this particular video. Thank you for your time. Enjoy.